So now we're going to install the sink module. Like all of our modules, it starts with the floor panel. You want to put it on a flat surface and then start installing the dowels. And with all our modules, you want to make sure the dowels are facing upwards so that your flathead screwdriver can direct the dowel. So we put it in. And then with a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, you want to make sure that the dowels are aligned up so that they're facing towards the hole on the sides, because you're going to get the bolt and push it through. Everything is pushed down and aligned. We're going to move on to the uprights. We'll start with one upright. And with this upright, to determine the orientation, is you want to make sure the tenons are facing forward. And you match that up with the tenons facing forward on the bottom panel. And then you match up the tenon on the side with the slot on the upright. So now that's lined up. And since I'm here on a table, I am going to grab these 20 by 1 1/4 inch flathead bolt and push it through to the side. And then you get your impact drill. Now that's nice and secure. You grab the other upright and you do the same thing. You repeat the same steps. Now that we have the uprights, we're going to take this time to insert the rest of the dowels into the inner side of the panels. Go through each panel, each dowel hole, and fill it with a dowel. Okay, now that we have all the dowels, we want to take this time to align the dowels in the right place. Now the next step is the front panel. And with the front panel, you want to match these slots with the tenons. This time you get the 20 by 1 inch bolt. You fasten that through. Almost there. Finish off here. All right, now the front panel is on. We're going to move towards the rear panel. Same thing with the front panel. You have the slots, and then you want the tenons to be facing upwards. And so I'm just going to match the slots with the tenons on the uprights. And because these do have tenons, it's acting as a guide. Right, now that's there. We grab the 1 inch, 20 by 1 inch flathead bolt, and we start fastening it. Good. So now you're almost done. You got the front and the rear done, and then we're going to move on towards the top panel. Same thing, like the other front panels and rear panel. There's slots on the bottom side to help you align with the tenons that are facing upwards. And then with this, because you want your faucet orientation towards the back and not in front of you, you want to make sure that these holes here are facing the back. Right, now we have the top panel on. We're going to grab 20 by 1 1/4 inch flathead bolt. Because it's on the table and it's a little tall, I'm just going to orient it to face me. They always say work smarter, not harder. All right, we got the top on, and we're going to move on to the door panel. With the door panel, we want to align these holes with the holes on the door on the front panel. So in this case, the holes are here and on this side. But I actually like to start by putting the hinges on first. So I grab these hinges and I grab a couple M8 bolts. I just fasten it through here. I grab the M8 Allen wrench and I just fasten that like that. So the M8 nuts are being threaded onto the M8 bolt. I hand tighten it to get the nut on there. Now you grab your M8 wrench and your M8 Allen head tool and you fasten. Okay, Now that's fastened. We grab our door. And what I like to do is pull the hinge out a little bit. I grab the same M8 bolt. I align that up with the door, and I put the first one in. And there's a little bite on there to help things stay secure. And then I'm gonna grab, I start with the top and then I go to the bottom, just like that, and I grab my Allen wrench. Then I grab my nuts, then we fasten it one time. Okay, now that the door's on, we're gonna finish off with the compression latch. With this compression latch, you loosen up the Phillips head screw. You open it up, you slide it in. Then you get that same bracket and Phillips head screw. You go on the back side, and then you fasten it. All right, now that's fastened. You want to adjust the back bolt by getting your M8 wrench and loosening the nut. Okay, now that's done. We're gonna move on to the sink. So now we're gonna move on to the sink, and the sink's pretty easy. All you have to do is have silicone caulking. You can find this anywhere, your Home Depot or Lowe's. Simple stuff that you can find for your kitchen or bathroom. And then this is your kitchen sink. You want to lay it flat on the surface, and you're just going to lay a bead down on the corners. Just a small bead, probably a 1/4 inch thick, nice and light, because if you go too heavy, when you lay the sink down, it's going to spread and spill over. So you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to start one corner. Nice and easy, not too much. So this is how my bead looked like. It's not too thick, and it's not running over. So you want to grab the corners, make sure you don't touch the silicone, and we're going to gently place it over the top. It's going to be a tight fit, and you just let it drop. Like so. So in the last piece, we have this bracket for our faucet, for the Dometic faucet that we use, and it's pretty simple. You want to get the 1/4 by 1 inch button head bolt and a couple washers. Come down, we start threading it, and then we fasten it down like this. All right. And that's how you assemble the sink module.